Comedian Bernie Mac has died. He was 50 years old. He was suffering from a lung condition called sarcoidosis, which many of us probably haven't heard until this morning. As recently as a few days ago, he was said to be recovering. Dr. Jennifer Ashton joins us live on the phone to talk more about this. Good morning again to you, Doctor.
Good morning.
So when we heard this morning, sarcoidosis, and we hear that it's related to pneumonia or that he died from complications due to pneumonia. Help us understand what this is.
Right. This might be a case of true and unrelated here in the case of Bernie Mac, because while he did have a condition known as sarcoidosis, which is, you can think of it like an immune condition that can affect any part of the body, but typically does have a predisposition to affect the lungs and then results in them being less able to stretch or less able to accommodate good air volume. It is not clear at this time from the reports that we're seeing that the pneumonia was related to the sarcoid. It could have been complicated by the sarcoidosis, but sarcoidosis doesn't typically cause pneumonia, in people.
Doctor, I'm reading that this apparently had no effect on Bernie Mac in his day-to-day life. Is that common?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, in medicine we say that people who have sarcoidosis fall into a third. So a third of them have no symptoms, they never get worse, it doesn't affect them. A third can get worse, and a third can even get better.
But Doctor, Bernie Mac is only 50 years old, so let's say that the pneumonia was unrelated to the sarcoidosis. Normally 50-year-olds can recover from pneumonia.
Right, absolutely. Such a good question, Allison. He was 50. We don't know if he had a pre-existing heart condition or any other medical complications that could have set him up to die from pneumonia. But the bottom line is at any age, if you are hospitalized with pneumonia, it can be a critical condition and can, in some instances, result in death.
A couple of things we were reading about his family, and his mother passed away when he was 16 years old from cancer. So immediately you begin to think, is there a history of cancer or a history of illness in his family that then could be linked to this? And is sarcoidosis tied to cancer in any way?
No, it isn't. But, the other thing that there was apparently some conflicting reports during the last week of his hospitalization, out there especially in the internet, that he was getting better or that he was getting worse. The hospital, I think, did release something that he was soon to be expected to be discharged. So when someone in the hospital with a critical illness dies suddenly, the big things you have to think about are the things that can take anyone's life suddenly: heart attack, stroke, blood clot that goes from the leg to the lung, and then the heart, typically in someone who's been immobilized in bed. So I'm sure they're going to be looking at those things.
Dr. Jennifer Ashton, thank you for your perspective this morning. We appreciate it, helping us understand this. Again, comedian Bernie Mac passing away at the age of 50 years old from complications due to pneumonia, and he had suffered from sarcoidosis, which we now have a better understanding of.
Oh, such sad news. Meanwhile, we